Yeah, I hope we get it right now. Yeah, you are welcome to the Benin Empire Advancement League once again. I'm Dele Bello, the president of the Benin Empire Advancement League, the organization for all the Benins. In this organization, and most of our teachings and broadcasts, we talk about the Edo history, heritage, culture, and we also talk about politics at any time that is really affecting all the things that is really affecting our people and what we can do to solve all these problems. Uh, Today I'm alone. Maybe tomorrow will be two to discuss, or even three of us to discuss some issues that is really affecting our people. Why our people are not really moving forward as it's supposed to be. In the case as of this moment, and I think in the next few days, we'll be having uh, we'll be having an election in the state or nationwide. Some are having their governorship election, and some are having their House of Assembly election. People will be elected into power to represent the state. In the case, Edo State is on our focus. We are going to be focusing on Edo State to talk to our people, to give advice to our people, to air our point and view to our people, what they should look after and what they should look into properly before taking decision to vote. I'm not here to tell anybody or to advise anybody to vote for a particular candidate, not to vote for a particular party, or to vote for a particular party. That is not my job, and I don't think I have the right to tell anybody to vote for any person uh, that he doesn't want to vote for. Real democracy uh, is a choice. Your vote is a secret for yourself. Uh, I have been voting for more than 23, 24 years where I'm living, and none of my family actually know who I'm voting for. And likewise, all members of our families, nobody's really know who they are also voting for. You know, everybody is supposed to vote out of his mind, out of his brain. You use your brain, use your heart, and to analyze, and you can take decision to vote. As we may say, democracy starts from home. You know, start from home, teaching your children how to make decisions for themselves. And this is very, very important because I cannot see this in Nigeria of today. I cannot see that in Nigeria of yesterday. I couldn't see that in Nigeria of yesterday, not to talk about today. Because we have this hierarchy system in the family in Africa for as a whole, not just Edo State, because I would like to say this. This hierarchy is just the father is the alpha and omega in the house who give decisions what to do, what not to do. But that doesn't really represent a true democracy. A true democratic uh, government or elected government is allowed. It's everybody in the family is allowed to choose whoever they are willing to vote for. And it should be kept secret for them. There's a reason for that, why they should be kept secret for themselves. One of the reason, because some members of the family could get punished for voting for the people uh, that is not really wanted by the family. And not only that, by friends and other relations could happen that when it comes to their notice that you voted for a certain candidate, that it doesn't suit their own brain or their own mind, then you may get punished. But in a true democracy, everybody is allowed to vote for whom he wished to vote for, without interference from family members or outsiders. But we cannot see that in Nigerian democracy. We cannot really see all this. That is why we are really lacking the true democracy in Nigeria, which or in Edo State, which, which needs to change a bit. And my main concern is just the three major parties that is playing the role right now. Because as we all know, most of all these members, they have been in one party or the other before. Like that of the APC, some changing from APC to PDP, and from PDP to APC, from PDP to Labour Party, from APC to Labour Party, and so on. We can see that the politicians, they are just recycling themselves from one party to the others. There's not really a new generation of politicians that is really coming up. People doesn't really understand that because people are just shouting Labour Party, this and that, this and this, without even understanding the meaning, the consequence of what we are doing. It's like a deja vu because we understand what went wrong during the governorship election 3.5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or let me say 2.5 years ago. I think, yeah, 2.5 years ago. We knew what exactly went wrong. People were not really allowed to make their choice. Their choice was already chosen for them through social media, through vocal campaign from our people that really hinder them to really choose, to use their brain to choose, to use their mind to choose. But that wasn't possible for them because they were so influenced by this word Togba and the 4x4 that really brought us to this situation where we are today. Many people, when I write something in the social media, when people are talking about politics, when I said, do we really need Obaseki? Do we really need Izeyam? Do we really need Adamu Shomole? Many people come forward to accuse me that I'm double standard and I don't know how to say so many words they are using about it. But let me just bring this to your point. Before the election, governorship election in Edo State, we lost so many of our youth. We lost so many of our youth to party fight, to gang, and to courtesan. We lost so many of them. Cops were lying in, in Edo State, in Benin City. We know what happened. We know what we were doing. We know what went wrong. That's why I'm still saying this. We doesn't need Obaseki. We doesn't need Izeyamu nor Adamu Shomole for Edo State to move forward. We doesn't need the PDP. We doesn't need the APC. We doesn't need LP. All we need is ourselves coming together to say this is what we want. Because these three political parties we are having there, these are the three major parties that just recycling candidates who we all know before. They were in APC, moved to PDP, from PDP to Labour Party. Even some of our rich men buying tickets for 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 some of the candidates. These are not supposed to be happening in that state, but nobody cares. All we care about is the money that we get for the few days. That the election is taking place. And that is so bad that people are still con- doing all sorts of nuisance, to compromise the election. Let me go forward about the propaganda that is really going on net, and we can see Adam Oshomole and Obaseki going after each other and destroying each other's campaign. You know, and I want to remember all our people. This is exactly what was going on in the last governorship election. We are witnessing the same thing now. And I'm telling you, it's going to hit up in 2024. Because before our Reverend Father Omonoba Nedu Kwapolopolo Oba Ewari II came up to summon both candidates, Ize Adamu Shomole, and Obaseki, to the palace to give them words of advice, to advise them that enough is enough. To be a good leader, you have to be a leader first. So many people were saying that period that Oba of Benin choose side. I was trying to correct these people that there was no side choosing. They said he should have said, okay, they should vote for Obaseki and so on. I said, no, our Oba of Benin is not interested in politics. And he's not a politician. He's a father for all, whether any of the party you belong to. That is your problem. The major concern for Oba of Benin that period was the peace that should be uh, ongoing in Benin City, which was not there. It's not just before the election. After the election, we saw cops in the street of Benin City. We see gangs, we see armory, we see Fulani herdsmen, and we saw our people killed as courtesan. And the most disturbing fact of it, or part of it, is that all these killings were linked to all these parties, to all these political parties. I can tell you that period we were crying to see our brothers and sisters, our young ones who are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow, lying on the street of Benin. And it was so unfortunate to see this and to see that our people doesn't learn from mistakes. We made that mistake that period, and we are supposed to be correcting that mistake as I'm talking to you, but we are not doing that. We are doing exactly, and we are repeating exactly the same mistakes that occurred during that last governorship election. I can still see today Governor Obaseki playing the victim card. Oh, they want to impeach me. They want to. Who are you afraid? If you are doing a good job and the people like you, it's the headache if they want to vote for you. I will not stop anybody from voting for you. Likewise, not voting for the candidate that's being supported by Adam Shomole. That is not my headache. My headache is my people, the freedom of my people, the safety of my people. That is my headache. And if you cannot guarantee that, then I may be your enemy. I'm going to be campaigning against you. During the first tenure of Governor Obaseki, we were crying to him to save our people from Fulani herdsmen, from the killing that was really going on that period, devastating. After that, we have the gangs that take over Benin City. Then we have the courtesan. We have the black ass, Eye, and so whatever they call them, that took over Benin City, killing our people, macheting our people to death in Benin City. Why the governor kept quiet? Why the opposition kept quiet? Because they were part and parcel of these criminals that were doing all what was happening in Edo State that period. Because no reasonable person will see what was happening in that period that we kept quiet, that we keep his mouth quiet, not to say something. This is a political message to our people because they need to listen to what this says. We lost nothing less than 20 people. Well, what is 20 people in a week? That period, the blood was flowing in Benin City. People were trying their best to make sure the peace come back to Benin City. And people were also misusing that opportunity. It was like by force, forcing Obaseki to, to look for a security apparatus for Edo State. It took time pleading with him, you know, before somebody came up, somebody of Aruna, to say, okay, we will now take the position of SA to the governor in case of the security. He did a very good job. He built something on the ground uh, that uh, we are now projecting on today to say, okay, let's improve the security of Edo State. You know, but before then, we are seeing, and now let me forget then. Now we are still seeing the same picture. We are still seeing the same picture in the future. What is going to happen in the next few days? I think the Benin people or the Edo people or the Sako people, the Robo, Isan, Owan, Afiema, they have to they have to look very, very well whom they are voting for. Are they in gangs? Are they in any of the court? Look at it very well because most of these our people are criminals. They are criminals like those people who are bringing them forward. Nobody is a messiah. Nobody will come and cure you from your economic hardship. You are the one that is going to be doing this for yourself. Your vote is your messiah. If you give your vote because of a cup of rice or a sugar or whatsoever, then you sold yourself right already out. Nobody can save you from that. You have to save yourself from that because this is what is going on right now as I'm talking. People doesn't really learn from their mistakes. Edo doesn't really learn from their mistakes. Who you are voting for is not my problem, but who you vote for that will affect your family, that will affect people around you. That is my problem. Collecting money to vote for somebody is a crime. And I've been talking about so many things that need to be done. Democracy doesn't start from going to ballot to cast your vote. It starts from your bedroom, from your parlor, sitting down with your family, advise them on what to do. But don't tell them whom to vote for. Let them make their choice themselves. That is democracy. And allow them to keep this secret for themselves who they vote for or who are they are going to vote for. Because that is also very, very important that this person will not be mocked at home or in the social media or elsewhere because we know exactly what is going on today in the social media. When you say you are voting for such a candidate, people will come and mocking you, insulting you, doing all sorts of nonsense to, to, to provoke you or to insult. To, I don't understand the type of politics we are playing exactly in Nigeria because all these things need now to be put into consideration. And my main purpose of talking to our people is about our history and culture. This is very, very important to any civilization in the whole world today. Any civilization you are seeing today, they stand with their culture, they stand with their history. Their background is their sources. So this is where we should come back to. We should put people in the position who can be able to represent our culture, who know about our civilization, who know about our history, not just people trying to impose the European or the American system of government on us, knowingly that we are not Americans, that we are not Europeans, that we are Africans, that we have our ethnic background, we have our religious background, we have our cultural background. our heritage. You know, so we should do away with such people who doesn't respect our culture, our tradition, and others. Who we today dispose any of our chiefs or any of our king. We shouldn't respect such people who doesn't respect our tradition. But the decision is left for you. Because if you want to continue the same hardship we are now, you can do that. But I'm not recommending anybody for you because those people, the three major parties we are having, the APC, PDP, LP, we have been seeing this in their attitude, lack of respect for our tradition and history, culture, and other things. There's no candidate in the world today who, who will neglect their history, their background, and go free. None of these candidates we are having today is a saint. I can tell you. Although I personally doesn't know any of them, it's only one person I know, and I haven't seen him for more than 20 years. And I cannot go to any person today or anybody to ask him to vote for a particular candidate. But choose the candidates you are voting for wisely because it's going to affect you, not just 4 years, beyond. It's going to maybe in 20 years to come because the decision that is being taken today is going to be there for more than 20 years before you can change, because before even the change can have an effect on your life. You are not just choosing for yourself, you are choosing for your children, you are choosing for your family, you are choosing for everybody around you, your neighbors. You have to put everything into consideration before doing that. Without doing that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for the people around you because you make the wrong decision. You collected money to vote for the wrong candidate. You sold your vote because of some cash that will not take you even more than 3 or 4 days. You know, these are things people need to put into consideration. I would not like to talk too much today because our people they're always fond of doing this, coming up to insult people uh, after the broadcast, sending you some useless messages and all that. I'm not interested in that because I don't even reply some of these messages unless people who come up with positive argument saying, bro, why is this so? Why do you say so? Then I can reply you. I give you my own option or my own view of the whole thing and you understand. But there are some people committing nuisance telling me to remove my video from 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 social media. Can you imagine that? Somebody coming to tell you remove your post from the social media. Somebody who doesn't know you before, who doesn't even know what they're talking about, coming to tell you remove the video. Is that not nuisance? Nonsense. You know? And especially some of our brothers and sisters always come up with insult, who cannot even write a word without insult. Social media is not there for you. It's not there for misbehaving. It's not there to insult people. It's, it's called social for somebody to be connecting with somebody positively. You know? But this misuse is getting too much because Nigeria doesn't have control. If we have control over social media, that bullying will be put as as a criminal offense. Because I can see this in relations, in friends, and that people for what they wrote or uh, for saying their heart in the social media, and these are criminal offense in so many other countries. Because I told so many of these people, thank God you are living in Nigeria, where social insulting somebody in social media, you go free. In so many countries, it doesn't go free. You pay heavily for it. You know? So about the election that is really coming up, I'm pleading with my people. Don't forget our culture. Don't forget our history. Our history is very, very important in schools. You know, the the palace of the Oba of Benin should come up, and I'm still saying this, should come up to say enough is enough. Our history is our background. Our history is part of our civilization. It's not everything that was glamour in those histories. There's still some dark side. And from this dark side, we can learn something positive out of it. Also, from this glamour side, we can also learn something positive out of it. There's a lot we need to do. There's a lot we need to correct. And putting history right from our elementary school is something very, very important to really our people to know themselves. We doesn't need to wait for the federal government. We doesn't need to wait for the state government. We can come and sit down with the state government, sit down with the local government, because recruiting teachers for our history shouldn't be a great problem because we all know we have some good historians in Benin City who can be able to work with the with the state government till the grassroots level to make sure our history is being taught in the school, also in the universities, all our academic levels. And should be made compulsory because this is very, very important because we can see the problem we are facing today is because lack of background. We doesn't know all what we are supposed to know because people always say, or they don't always say, ekwenye, ekwiyenye, enye nariobi. You know, uh, all the animals we see today is the things they learn from their parents, from the social environment where they are living in, the histories given from children, from adult to children. This is what makes them great. Look at the elephant, look at the lion, look at the leopard, look at all these animals, even the monkey, the gorillas, and other. You look at them when they are what they are doing, then you will understand why it's very, very important the background, to know the background, how they teach their children gradually, step by step, to understand whom they are. This is supposed to be happening with us, but it's not happening. All we do, we spend so much time in church, study history that doesn't belong to us, that we doesn't even know about. We study the book, we study the Quran that wrote nothing about us. We study the Bible that wrote nothing about us. Yeah. You read the book that's always talking about the Israelites, talking about the Romans, talking about the Greeks. That's not really talking about the African, the black Africans. You know. So let us come forward and start teaching our history. You will see the difference in 5 years, 20 years to come, the difference in our people when they know really whom they are. You will see the positive side of it, how things will be moving on and on. We can see the Nigerian politics of today because if just because we are lack of background, then you will see that these people they have knowledge of nothing in them. All the copies from maybe from the British, then from the Americans, and putting them together, which make them to fail to woefully, woefully. You know. Not that they are dumb in brain, but they don't have the background. They don't have something to work on. You know, when you make a copy and copy and copy, you make copy from copy and a copy, then you will start seeing how the color will start fading. This is what is happening to the government of Nigeria. Not that the people are bad or they are too corrupt. You know, it's only the copy from copying and copying and copying. The color continue to fade, and this is what is happening. Our democracy is fading because we doesn't have our own alternative to what the British and the Americans and the Chinese are leaving for us. And we also have this from our home, this traditional dictatorship from home, where our parents always dictate for us. even not giving us enough time even to think for ourselves. You know, we need to, because uh, during the time of our fathers, when after eating in the evening, they sit down, make firewood, or even myself make firewood. They talk about the Benin mythology, about so many stories you listen to, that will make you to reason about your environment, to reason about your social environment, to think about your people. You know. But this time around, people go to the mosque, people go to the church to listen to how Moses crossed the River Nile, how uh, God talked to Moses without evidence and all those sort of things. We need to do more about when it comes to our history and culture. The Oba of Benin need to do more. We have to say that. We have to do more. Call on conference and all that to make sure our history is being taught in the school. The government need to do more. But what people doesn't really understand, government need a faith citizen who faith themselves, who is looking for rescue from government, you know, because they need somebody who will be coming out to be voting their thing. This is what we are having because we faith and nobody. We are looking for Messiah, knowingly for so many of us that there's no Messiah, that you are a Messiah of yourself. You can only rescue yourself. Nobody can rescue you. There's no amount of help people will render for you that really will rescue you if it doesn't come from the brain and your heart to rescue yourself. You know, you have to do that yourself. So if you look at the democracy that is being practiced or the type of election that is being practiced in the world today, look at the Italian election few months ago. Everybody know what happened. The three major party was voted out. You know, a fourth party won the election. You know, sorry. You know, but that's not happening in Nigeria. It's not happening in this state. We have these three major parties that is pumping all their atrocities on us. We cannot even retaliate. You can retaliate with your vote. And this is what needs to be done. It's needed to be done. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining me and for sharing my message, because we need to be sharing all these messages. If you have an idea, share it out to our people. An idea that you know that can help our people. Uh, the social media is a very, very great tool to be used, can use to educate our people. Even the Europeans, the Americans, they are using it to educate their people to blindfold their people also. Uh, we shouldn't forget, because in social media, when things come up, when people are viewing it, even though it's lie, one day become the truth or become the truth. But we should try to be putting things that is positive in the social media that can really educate our people, because that is where our people will profit from it. And I know today, some of our Edo people are just, they are calling us Yahoo boys. You know? Knowing that Edo boys are not really Yahoo boys. Edo boys are hardworking people. You know, I don't think Edo boys are more Yahoo than Igbos or Yorubas. So we have to say this. You know, so these people are just trying to blackmail us, trying to give us a name that doesn't really belong to us. Because the how people I know right from times are the Igbos, who do people in foreign land come to Nigeria and say they are dead, make a grave for themselves, and then when the foreign people come to Nigeria, they will show them their graves and say this dead, and they will now leave and say, okay, we forget, whereas these people are still living. So we shouldn't forget that. And there are so many names they are calling us that really doesn't belong to us, that belongs to them. I'm not anti-Igbo, I'm not anti-Yoruba, I'm not anti-Hausa nor Fulani, but we need to start saying the truth and start fighting for ourselves. The next presidential election is coming also in the next 4 years. So it's also time we start fighting for our candidates, South candidate, a candidate from the Benin Empire that will really represent our people. Because right now we are not represented in any level, to say the fact. So thank you, and may the God of our ancestors be with you all. He said.